I want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to say first, I'll introduce myself and then tell you a little bit about how we all got in this room, the group that's putting on this event so that we can learn together about pipelines. And then we'll hear from Joe Heath, who will give us background on the process and background on pipelines as they're going now. And then we'll hear from Craig Stevens, who's from Pennsylvania, that has direct experience. He has a pipeline going through his backyard. And Joe will tell us about the process too. So thank you everybody for coming tonight. And I have a couple of questions first. How many, just maybe a show of hands, how many of you have pipeline easements going on your property? Yeah. Okay, and how many of you are from Broome County? And what towns are you from? You can just yell out. Maine. Union.
Shenango Forks.
Okay, Shenango Forks. Where? Okay. And how about Cortland County? A few folks from Cortland. Okay. And Onondaga County? Okay. So, again, thanks for coming. And I do want to say that this group was born out of a group that's been working on several groups, a coalition of groups that have been working on fossil fuel extraction issues. But this meeting is not about fracking. This meeting is about infrastructure that's part of that, but this meeting is specifically educational about pipelines and how it affects your property, your right to develop your property, your rights as a property owner, mortgage and insurance issues, how it affects your property into the future. So the scope won't be about fracking or drilling. Yes?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, ma'am, if this is an informational meeting about pipelines, I'm just curious about why the word stop is part of the title.
Well, up front, I will say, our bias is obviously from our group that we don't think it's a good idea right now to be investing millions into the infrastructure for fossil fuels when there's issues, which we'll go over the issues. So that bias is out front. You know, if we wanted to pretend we were neutral on the issue, we surely wouldn't have put "Stop the Pipeline" as the name of our group. So, but there's, you know, and that's a broader discussion. But this pipeline directly affects every landowner in this room, and it affects all of us. So with that, I'll say who I am. My name is Menapace, and I'm a registered nurse. I work up in Syracuse with pregnant women, and I work with a lot of different groups, but I'm with a group called Concerned Health Professionals of New York. I have become reluctantly very well versed in fossil fuel extraction issues from a public health standpoint. As a parent, I have a daughter that lives in the most drilled area in the country out in Colorado that's now in trouble because the gas infrastructure has been flooding. So, I come to this from a public health perspective. So that's who I am. And I am up at the microphone because no one else in the group wanted to take the mic. So default, I'm here. So, but I'll be brief. So I think I've covered the housekeeping stuff. Check your phones, exits over there, bathrooms over there. There's some delicious baked goods. We have spent already hundreds of dollars on mailings and the postcards and handouts and mapping. And a few thank yous to the Stop the Pipeline group was born when there was a notice that came through the internet that the Millennium Pipeline Company, as the first step in the process for FERC, had an open season announcement kind of trolling for the market. So they say that here's what we're proposing we need to do, but we need customers. So some of us saw that and were aware and got together and thought we need to educate people because this process of these pipelines directly impacts your property value, your health, it impacts the way that you can use your home and you can live on the land that you live in. And the FERC process doesn't include contact directly with landowners. And there's a lot of information that you need to have to know whether you want to sign the papers to give them permission to do this pipeline in your backyard. Is this the best route? Is this the best area? Are there things that you should have a say? And you do have a say. You can sign the paper for them to come on and dig the pipeline in your backyard or not. They will make you think that you can't. So anyway, there's a lot of information, and so this group, Stop the Pipeline group, was formed from a coalition of people from a lot of different groups in a lot of different areas, from Syracuse to Broome County, and this is the first meeting as a way to disseminate information and start a discussion on what pipelines mean in the U.S. and the federal process of permitting and regulating these pipelines. So that's the group. And a real thanks to Todd Miller. I don't think he's here today. He's a retired USGS employee, and Todd did this incredible mapping for us of the pipeline route. So we were able to get a hold of the landowners, because the Millennium route was very vague. But Todd actually did the mapping for us to be able to knock on your doors and send you a postcard and give you a heads up, because the pipeline company hasn't done that yet. So thanks to Todd for that. And then there's a whole army of people that have hit the ground running, and you know who you are, and I thank you, because of you guys, the room is full. And Kitty and Diane are the ones that made most of the baked goods, so when you're feeling itchy, get up and go in and buy some cookies, if you would.